This is setting the string height. It's set back here by the saddles. These are the new Gravtech saddles. And I just installed them. Now I just want to check the string height at the correct fret. So I also measured this back here is nice and straight, and each saddle should be in line with that, not crooked to it. You know, in other words, those lines should show me if that each individual saddle is crooked or if it's lined up with the bridge. It always looks better anyway when they're not crooked. If they're crooked, something wrong with it. You know, because you can just look at it and see that it is crooked. You know, that kind of thing. And all right. So I'm just kind of checking the crookedness of each saddle, and it looks pretty good. This one. Now, once I do that, then I can start bringing my tool. This is the tool I use. It's basically something I came up to for my action to be even keel night after night. It should be predictable, not something like surprise me, you know, that it was hard or stiffer to play or anything. So basically, you start at that fret there, the highest fret, just behind it. And you try to make it so that you'll hear a little, you know, where it tries to choke it. But if it continues to ring, then it's right. I think it's a little low. So if it's a little low, then you just kind of scoot it up a little bit. Just takes little tweaks, doesn't take much. And then you try it again. Now hear it. It continues. You should be able to scoot it all the way under. So it needs to go up a little bit more. So the first thing I did was tune the guitar right. And I didn't worry about intonation. This is string height. It's getting there. So it still needs to. It chokes it, so that means that the saddle's too low, so you gotta heighten it. You gotta raise it. Doesn't take much. I mean, I'm just barely turning it, but because I'm getting to that point. There you go. It's completely under. Not much play at all. And it scoots. Alright. Now second fret, second string, you move back a fret, so there's two frets there. On that fret, then you do this one. You check if it's, you tap it like that, see how much movement there is. Shouldn't be too much. Alright, needs to be lowered a little bit. 1, 2, just behind that fret. Barely any movement. Still ringing. But I check like this too, because I want it to be just almost touching it. There's still a little bit of movement. Try it again. I see movement. That's when I lower it. It's just starting to rest on top of the brass piece. So you do use your ears to hear when it scoots under and when the string can vibrate, at least a harmonic or something vibrate freely. And you check and see if there's any slop on top. That's pretty damn good. Alright, so you go to the next string. Basically, that's all you do. Keep scooting it. Now, you're the third string, the G string. So, so it just needs to be lowered a little bit. Then I line up the back of these little saddles with this straight line that's chrome. And so that's a way to get them to look nice and even. You know. Pretty good. All right. Fourth string. I pressure from this 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it is. Well, this one is too low. So you raise it up. Too high. But not too much. I mean, this is very tiny little increments of movement. There you go. Barely any movement when you go down on it like that. So that one's done. And the 5th fret. One, two, three, four, 5. just behind that fret. That's already a little too high. Split the difference. There you go. And then the sixth string. That one's almost there. The lower strings vibrate slower. They need more clearance because they're slightly longer just to get that frequency to sound right. That's part of intonation. I still hear it touching kind of rudely, so I'll make it a little higher. That's it. Slid completely under it, and the string was still free to move. But then you know that's why you check how much movement. And, I just tapped on top of this, like, and tap it. And I can see actual movement, but I can also hear. You know, let me put it on this side. You know, you can also hear. But this is the best way to check. It's like a harmonic that's sustaining. It could stand to go just a hair width higher. That's pretty good. And that's it. That's all you do with that. I just had to figure out. I played a lot of nightclubs and a lot of hotels and, you know, rock and roll, classic rock stuff, and some jazz stuff I also did. And I had to figure out a way to be consistent because I hate surprises. I don't like to play a guitar and it feels stiff one week and then the next week. If a whole week goes by and something's wrong, you know, you should be able to night after night be consistently playing at that action. Then your fingers, your motor, you know, motor skills and all that go into play. I'm a luthier's son, and we're from Puerto Rico, Manabo. That's the south of the island, Manabo. We're in the mountainous area. And our family, Burgos, has been into guitars, Spanish guitars, acoustic. His father and probably his father before that, you know, luthiers. It's in the bloodline. So I inherited that from my father, and at the age of 5, I would be watching him cutting up tiny little things with an X-Acto knife, and then he had already drawn how it would all fit, all these tiny little pieces to go around the mouth of the guitar. This is 1950s. I turned 5 in 1955 because I was born in 50, and at that time, guitars all had a lot of design, a lot of work around them. You know, the borders of the guitar, and all the binding and all that was elaborate, and some designs and mother of pearl, whatever the artist wanted to do with it. My dad is definitely an artist. I mean, he's perfectionist, acoustic guitar, luthier. I'm more of into electric guitars, so that's the difference. But I do get work repairing acoustic guitars, and I've had people come up with the neck of the guitar in the right hand and the body of the guitar in the left hand. Like, oh man, my guitar broke. Yeah. So I have preferences. My preference is electric guitar. My dad's preference was acoustic guitars, and that's the main difference. All right, well, that's a little hint on how I do jazz rock setting, jazz rock. I can bend strings. I can play blues, country, or anything with this height, and yet it's easy to play jazz. And even my acoustic guitar is set at this height. After I've done this here, next comes I use a tool for that, is the relief of the neck. I bought some tools. It's from Music Nomad, and I'll be using the tool, I believe it's this one, truss rod gauge. So that's what I'll be using. I won't bore you with it. There's plenty of videos on how Music Nomad does their stuff. Their tools have been, like, over the ages, I imagine, have been refined down to just what you need to fix a 6-string instrument or a 12-string instrument or a bass, and no more. You don't need all these gauges for cars and stuff, and setting a gap on a spark plug or anything like that. Basically, they've boiled it down. That's why I like their equipment. God bless.